Mina ngithanda isitambu nomqapiso.
I know this one is Xhosa.
Mna ngithanda umphokoqo namasi, ngithanda umngqusho.
There's more clicking. Okay, I've been thrown off by my students. You two are my challenges.
No, how did you guess?
Hi. I mean, I know some general history about South Africa, from apartheid to Nelson Mandela's effects and ongoing racial tensions inside of South Africa. So I know that there are some native languages that have probably been overtaken by English and Afrikaans, but linguistically I don't know a lot about South Africa. I don't have a very good basis here, but I know that at least English and Afrikaans are considered official languages, and then I know that there are several other like native African languages. I think actually there's quite a lot of Indian languages that are spoken in South Africa. I know there's a large Indian population that immigrated in the past. That's my basis. Since I'm an English teacher in South Korea, in the past there were quite a lot of South African English teachers, so sometimes they would speak Afrikaans with us, and then in the US, Trevor Noah is quite famous, so the South African like English accent I've heard a lot because I'm a fan of him. It sounds broadly European to me, I think because of the way it was settled, so there's like kind of an English sounding intonation to it, but it also has much more up and down intonation when they speak English. But in terms of Afrikaans, I don't really know. I know there's some loan words from English, but it gets very hard to follow immediately. I'm gonna do my absolute best to distinguish them, but I don't have a ton of confidence. If English is one of them, I can probably get that one. But the other ones, I think I can probably hear a difference between them, but which one is which, I don't have any basis for.
Hallo, my naam is Chane. Ek kom van Suid-Afrika. Ek is gebore in Pretoria, maar ek het ook in Jeffreys Bay, Kaapstad en ander plekke 'n bietjie gebly ook, en ek woon nou in Suid-Korea.
I can definitely hear some English loan words, but it sounds like a really strong Australian accent, kind of mixed with Simlish at the same time. But I can hear obviously the nouns like South Korea and her name, introducing herself, all of that sounds just like a really extreme kind of Australian accent to me actually.
Sanibonani, igama lami Nwabisa, ngiphume eNingizimu Afrika. Ngisengihlale iminyaka engaphezulu kwe-6 la eKorea. Ngiwuthisha.
First thing I notice is her voice is very pretty.
Oh, thank you.
There's the stronger throat sound with this one, and kind of the vowels themselves sound very small, and then the consonants are more pronounced. So if she speaks quietly, it'll actually be quite difficult for me to pick out much.
Dumela, ke nna Q, ke tswa Pitori, ke na le dikgwedi tse pedi ke nna mo, ke rata ho bina, ke rata le dijo.
There's a rolled R with this one that I think is quite distinctive so far out of the 3 that I've heard, so it might be easier to pick out because of the R sound.
Molweni igama lami nguVelwethu, ndingwaseMzantsi Afrika, sendineminyaka esixhenxe ngoku. Ndihlala apha eSouth Korea.
Okay, there's a very distinct sound with this one, the kind of sound that way easier to pick out because of that too. Other than that, very, very quick compared to the other ones and kind of smoothly put together, not a lot of space in between the words.
Hello, I'm Sage and I live in South Korea. I'm from South Africa. I live in Johannesburg, South Africa, and I've been living here for about 6 years now.
I don't know, this one's a little bit challenging. So I'm really familiar with it, but yes, obviously I can pick out the English quite easily. I actually think they're all pretty distinguishable from each other, so actually my confidence level is going up. It may be misplaced, but I feel a little bit better than I was initially planning.
I'm not very confident, depending on the question, but I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
I think she's gonna have trouble with these two.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, yeah.
Can I hear all of the names of the language one time? Because I don't want to mispronounce the language. So obviously Afrikaans, Zulu, Tswana.
Xhosa.
In English, right? Yeah, I think I can do it.
If you're from a certain area of Europe, you would probably be like, oh, that's Afrikaans, because it would be lightly related to your language.
I think Xhosa is getting a little bit more familiar with people now, but people kind of figure it out from the clicks specifically. So when they hear like a hard click, they're like, oh, it's the clicking language type of thing. So I think maybe from that, maybe. We'll see.
So in South Africa, you have kind of kids who grow up speaking English, even though your native language, you have an African language. So that's what happened with me.
So language number 1, what's your favorite food?
Ke rata nama. Ko hae ho na le ba di bitsa di ke sekgowa, so o tlo ikreya dumplings ke di rata thata. La ditse?
Yeah, oh.
Really? Di fitlheneng, eh?
Aha,
For you!
So are the languages mutually intelligible, or are most people polylingual?
Polylingual.
Okay, so you're exposed to a lot of them. The R sound, tswana, I'm pretty sure.
Mina ngithanda isitambu nomqapiso. Ngiyathanda futhi ujeka.
Take me home.
And ngithanda futhi nokhari kabhontshisi.
I can't distinguish at all like what the content is, but I know this one is Xhosa, the clicking one. I can't say it properly, I'm sorry. I can spell it, but saying it is a little bit hard, but I can distinguish it by the clicking sound.
Mna ndithanda umphokoqo namasi. Ndithanda umngqusho.
There's more clicking.
Hayi ke idombolo. Ulifaka inyama uthi
Bazayithetha.
xa usiya umphokoqo ufaka amasi ufaka ibisi. Uyibethe ibe ngathi
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I've been thrown off by my supervision. Of the languages that were listed, I'm pretty confident in Tswana, so it's either Xhosa and Zulu or Zulu and Xhosa, so I have to think a little bit more. So I will ask a follow-up question a little bit.
So my gunsteling Suid-Afrikaanse kos is definitief braaivleis.
yes.
Ja, so enige tipe braaivleis. Maar as ek spesifiek moet wees, sal ek sê boerewors met pap en sheba.
Yeah. Take me home. Yeah.
This one is Afrikaans. Oh, it sounds quite like Dutch, I think. So there's that European influence in Afrikaans that I think makes it sound very distinct from the other ones.
I think my favorite thing to eat is Cape Malay biryani and obviously pap and vleis.
I'm gonna go with English for this one.
How could you tell?
I couldn't catch any of the like nouns between any of the other ones though. So although initially with Afrikaans too, I heard more English loan words. The only word that I caught I think was Afrikaans when she said it this time. So it's very much just by the accent and the sound.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Get it back. Haha.
this one very easy for me.
No, how did you guess?
And then I've got yours too. And I'm fairly certain in this one too. You two are my challenges. So I'm going to ask you some follow-up questions and see if I can pick out any distinct differences. So can you tell me about your linguistic background? So growing up learning one language and then what other languages you speak, schooling, anything like that.
Mina ngikhulele eNtabankulu emafarm. Ngikhule ngikhuluma isiXhosa. Ngithe mangaba sengineminyaka e11 umndeni wami wahamba wayohlala eThekwini. Ilapho ke ngifundele khona isiZulu. So ngihlalile eThekwini nje I think iminyaka e10 ngikhuluma isiZulu. Ilapho futhi ngifunde khona isiNgisi. And then mase ngiqeda isikole ngahamba ngabuyela eEastern Cape ngayohlala khona ngafunda e-university la khona. Mangiqeda ukufunda e-university ngahamba ngayohlala eJohannesburg. Ilapho ke engifunde khona ukuzwa isiTswana, isiSuthu. Hayi ukuthi ngiyazikhuluma, ngiyazizwa nje yabo part time.
My theory is that she tried to throw me off by adding more clicks than she would normally. I'm pretty sure this is Zulu now. And from what I can understand, she studied Xhosa or was exposed to Xhosa, probably natively speaking Zulu, and then heard more in university. And she went to East Cape and Johannesburg at some point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, more or less. From the loan words, I can pick out about that much.
Wow.
And then, would you like to tell me yours?
I mean, mna ndizalwe eGauteng ndakhule eGauteng xa ndimncinci nomama sathutha sayohlala e-Eastern Cape ngomama ngwase-Eastern Cape. Gqibezela isikolo e-Eastern Cape but ndaphindela eGauteng ke mna ke ndayohlala nabantu basekhaya ndafundela khona ndagqiba isikolo khona. And then ndikhule ndingumuntu othetha isiZulu nesitswana nesisuthu nesilungu bendingasazi isixhosa ndizosazi xa ndisendimuvela e-Eastern Cape ke ngoku. Ndazifunda zonke ke ngoku but ndabuyela ke ngoku eGauteng sendimlo mntu ke ngoku.
It's like kind of mesmerizing to hear you make the sounds and watch your mouth move at the same time. Because I have no idea phonetically how you're doing it, but I'm pretty certain you're our native Xhosa speaker.
Well done. Well done.
She's good.
This was easier than Indian languages because there's a bigger gap between all of them, I think. Yeah, it's very, very distinct, unique sounds.
Wow, did you study like linguistics or something like that?
Not really. My major was Chinese, and I speak Korean, but I'm just kind of casually interested in
Nice.
Wow, that was fantastic.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
When you guessed Zulu with her, I was like, ah.
Yeah, I think you tried to trick me.
She actually didn't, actually. You know, she didn't. She was being so genuine.
Yeah, suddenly a lot more clicking then. But the reason I could tell them apart afterwards is because because the vowels and the way that the words are strung together, this one is much quicker and has a lot more throat sounds overall, and the clicks are softer. And then the clicks were stronger over here.
Really? That's interesting.
I think that's because my clicks are weak in general. I don't think it's because Xhosa clicks are weaker than Zulu. I think mine.
Yeah, because Zulus don't click that much.
Yeah, Xhosa's is the one that click really hard.
Yours are very smooth and like very naturally integrated.
I'm not fluent, that's why.
At least to my ears anyway.
Yes, I am tswana.
I am Zulu.
I am Xhosa, according to her, light.
I'm Afrikaans.
I speak English.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, I feel pretty good now. I was pretty nervous actually, but now I feel pretty happy.
I mean, the fact that you just got Afrikaans and Tswana. Tswana, okay, Afrikaans understandable, but Tswana, that was impressive.
She wasn't even like, maybe it could be. She's like, Tswana.
The R sound is very distinct here, like the kind of rolled R.
I think you have a gift.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I heard obviously you guys were reacting to each other when speaking your native languages. So how many languages do you speak? What is your exposure with them growing up in South Africa, etc., etc.?
I speak and understand nearly all except for Venda and Tsonga.
Yeah, you have beef with Venda. It's just
They could plot to kill me and I wouldn't know. I'd be like, yes, please.
No, Venda people are the nicest people you ever meet.
How many languages are officially spoken in South Africa?
11, 12, including sign language is 12, yeah. Rainbow Nation.
I am Xhosa, but I grew up in Durban. That's why I have this badge. I speak Zulu, Xhosa. I understand Tswana. I do not understand Afrikaans. Even though I did 12 years of it in school, it's insane. Venda and Sepedi and Tsonga, I don't understand at all. Like, yeah, they could plot to kill me and I wouldn't even know. Like, they'll be like, yeah, no, we're having her.
And you're just like, yeah,
Have
me.
Just like, yeah, I would laugh with them now. Probably like 6 languages that I understand.
For me, I speak Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho. The one that I don't speak that well is Tswana, but I understand a lot of it as well. I do understand Afrikaans because I took it at school as well. I do understand Ndebele. I understand a little bit of Swati, but when it comes to Tsonga and Venda, I don't understand those at all. My kind of background is I was born and raised in Johannesburg, and my family is quite like linguistically mixed in a way. We're not necessarily mixed, but in terms of the languages we speak, so everybody married into a different sort of tribe, if I could put it that way. When I was about 10 years old, I moved to the Eastern Cape because my mom is from the Eastern Cape, and that's where I learned Xhosa. So I could understand it, but I couldn't speak it. So I learned to speak it from like the ages of 10. Yeah, so that's kind of my background with languages.
So there seems to generally be 2 that are quite difficult for people. Are they rarely spoken or is it?
Venda and Tsonga.
What's so difficult about these 2?
I wish you could hear Venda though.
I think it's the structure. So Nguni languages, we have the same structure. We have similar words. And then the Sotho, the Basotho people, like that's your Tswana, Sotho, and Pedi, they have a similar structure.
If you know one, you kind of know.
Like 8.
They kind of overlap with one another.
What's really nice is that the Venda people, they understand all of us, including Afrikaans.
Yeah, they do.
I think for me, as somebody who consumed a lot of television growing up, in South Africa it's very common to watch a TV show and then one family will speak like many different languages. The one language, I will be honest, that I wasn't very, well, 2 of them that I wasn't very exposed to even on TV growing up was, I would say, Venda and Tsonga, until we had like Skeem Sam. Like there was a show called Skeem Sam, and that's when I started getting exposed to like, so I think for me it was also about the media that I consumed back home. It was a lot of Zulu, a lot of Xhosa, a lot of Sotho, Tswana. Even like my nannies were mostly Tswana and Sotho, but in terms of Venda, I wasn't always exposed to the language as much as I would maybe liked to be able to learn it. So I think for me, that's where the difficulty comes in from. And even in real life, growing up, I never really would meet a lot of Venda, Tsonga speaking people a lot. I think I had one friend when I was in university and he was like, I'm Tsonga. I was like, really? But yeah, I think it's more of like, depends on how exposed you are to the
And where
language.
probably you
where you're
grew up.
from.
Kids from South Africa must be really smart.
We are!
You grow up like polylingual by age like 10.
By default, you kind of have to.
Oh yes. Out of the official South African languages, I only speak 2. I speak Afrikaans and English. Yeah, I would say at minimum every South African speaks 2 languages, or at least understands a second one very well. Grew up speaking both. I'm fully bilingual. I have ancestry from England. My great-grandmother was from Yorkshire. My grandmother was taught English by her mother, and then she obviously taught my mother English. My mother taught me English. The majority of my family are actually Afrikaans. Some Afrikaans people still have a bit of beef with the English. For example, my great-grandmother from Yorkshire actually married my great-grandfather, who was in a British concentration camp in South Africa as a child. And then when he married her, his family disowned him, because how could you as an Afrikaner marry an English woman? So there's that kind of beef. So a little bit when I was growing up, for example, we had Christmas and my brother and I went to an English private school when we were at that point. So we knew a lot of English Christmas songs, and our family wanted us to like sing some carols, and we sang English, and one family member was very upset that we didn't know any Afrikaans Christmas carols. So, but yeah, that's English and Afrikaans that I speak. Yeah, you probably also speak Afrikaans.
I'm the same, but I think in South Africa it all depends on like your lived experience, like where you went to school and how your family is structured. So for me, my parents are like Tswana and Sotho, but I spoke English because we went to a private school, like a British school actually. And so you would go to school and then go home and then be with the nanny and the helpers, and then you would speak to them in their language, but I couldn't, so I would speak in English. So I could speak Tswana to my family, like my dad and my mom, but then after some time you just speak in English because everyone in an international school is also different. So my friends all speak different languages, so either way, I wasn't gonna speak Tswana to them. I remember I was maybe in the first grade when I spoke so much Tswana, I really needed the bathroom, and I was wearing my PE shorts and I couldn't get it undone. Like someone had to help me, and I remember going to my teacher and being like, I couldn't find the word in English to say untie. I only knew it in Tswana. And I remember being like, I can't say it to her, she's not gonna understand because she speaks English. So then I had to wait until the break time to go to one of the ladies that worked in the cafeteria who could speak Tswana, and I spoke to her in Tswana and I said, please untie this, I need the bathroom. And she untied it and I went to the bathroom. And that is the last memory I have of just thinking in just Tswana. In an international school, we were not allowed to speak any other language but English, and then I would speak English to my friends. So when I speak to my parents, I will like mix, but it's so much that like I don't speak it like just one full sentence in Tswana now. It's just like all mixed. So yeah.
I think it was really fun. Actually, I have been quite interested in South Africa in the past because in my world literature class, we did like an African literature unit for over a year. And so we read a lot about the apartheid time, different African countries, but South Africa was quite interesting because obviously there's this mix of Western culture coming into the African culture and how they are subsisting now. I think also listening to all of your different answers, there's a lot of like politicism probably tied up in languages that people speak and what is considered acceptable and stuff like that. So I think it's very interesting linguistically. Those tensions can be revealed through that. And then also like universal languages can also kind of bring some healing and connection between people too. So I think it's a very interesting country linguistically and historically. So I was really grateful to hear different languages today and get to meet them.
Yeah, it's really great to connect with fellow South Africans, yeah?
I'm not gonna lie, I was like, she's never gonna guess it. I was like, Xhosa and Zulu, we got this. No, she guessed it. I apologize for my arrogance.
Not at all. It was probably well placed. I got lucky.
Very impressive. I didn't expect it at all.
Today I tried to distinguish 5 different South African languages.
If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below.
See you next time.
Bye!